somebody who had the game in a chokehold for a few months. But after his debut album, he disappeared, and that was years ago. But fans now, it's starting.
What the fuck happened with Nardo?
And a fiend for some of his music, and they want his music so bad, they doing petitions just begging him to drop music again. But what happened? Why did he leave rap? See, Nardo came into music a while ago. Back during 2021, he blew up, but the way he got in a position to blow up was interesting. A story when I seen with many artists. Growing up, he ain't have it too good. When he was young, his mama got locked up, and this wasn't no love sentence. She ain't go away for a month or two. His mama got sent to prison for 5 years over some fraud charges. So growing up for real, it was just him and his dad until she got out. And when she did, he went over there with her. And his life ain't getting no better. You gotta think about it. She just did 5 years in a pen. She ain't had no money. She didn't have no stability in life. They was struggling, and Nardo was speaking on it. And with Nardo being in this situation with no money, of course he was gonna try to go out and get it. During high school, he played football a little bit, but he threw all that out the window because he was broke and was not trying to wait on no money to come. And sadly, he fell into a trap many young black kids fall into today, the street life.
Before you was rapping, you was playing football, right? I think I saw, you was playing football? Was it like high school?
Nah, I didn't play high school. I like stopped when I was like 14, 15.
Okay. Why you stop?
Cause I feel like it would take too long.
And I was
too
long.
Be like that.
So it's like when I started doing other when I got like 15, that's when I started doing like towards like street shit. So mine was just on some I could because I was doing both. My mind was just on I wasn't feeling it no more. And I already knew what I wanted to do. By that time I knew I wanted to rap. Like by 14 I knew I wanted to rap. I feel like football won't take too long. But if you got that shit, that's how you do it or don't. You feel me?
And for a while, that man was stuck in the streets. It would be times when his mama broke down crying because she knew what kind of path that nigga was going down. Literally, she did 5 years in prison. But still, his mama crying in front of him, begging him not to do what he was doing. That ain't make him want to change. The only thing that changed how he felt about the streets was rap. Said himself that he knew the only way he was going to succeed in rap if he stopped being in the streets.
I said what made me change when I felt like I wasn't gonna make it if I kept doing what I was doing. That what made me change. I was like,
you gotta see it for yourself.
And what's crazy is the street life itself almost ruined his music career. When this situation happened that I'm about to tell you about, it really happened at the worst time in his career. This was like his height. He had Who I Smoke, all these big songs. He was actually having a name in rap when all of this went down. And when it happened, the world thought bro was done for. They thought his career was over before it even got to start. August 19th, 2021, articles came out saying Nardo Wick was taken into custody by U.S. Marshals. And I mean, it was footage of this arrest and all. You see all these marshals with guns out pointed at Wick and all the people he was with. It looked like something crazy was going on. Them niggas had the K9s out. DH News wrote, Jacksonville rapper Nardo Wick was reportedly taken into custody by the U.S. Marshals on Wednesday, August 19th. In the footage, we see 19-year-old rap star and another man laying face down on the pavement as law enforcement surround them at gunpoint. According to Act, he was arrested on concealed weapon charges, but no other details was released. And after this, people didn't have a clue what was going on with Nardo Wick. They was probably thinking he was done for. This situation ended with him just getting a weapon charge that got dropped later on. After the marshals put him in cuffs, searched the car, they ended up finding his weapon. In the initial photo, Wick was sitting on the ground handcuffed as several officers were standing around him. It's been shared that Wick was detained by U.S. Marshals, and while reports stated it was all due to a concealed weapon charge, exact details remain scarce. And like I said, at first people thought Nardo maybe was doing something. They might have thought he was back in the street life. But turns out that whole situation didn't have nothing to do with Nardo. It was all his brother.
So we also woke up one day to the blogs and saw shit that you can speak on if you can't speak on this or if it's a misunderstanding, but they were like, Nardo Wick, U.S. Marshals, go.
They had picked my brother up for murder, but they was coming from him. But we was leaving the hotel. We were finna come to Atlanta. We were getting in the car with our bag. And they was only for him, so they wasn't even supposed to me.
Right, but they ended up putting you in cuffs, putting you on the ground, all that shit.
It was only supposed for him. And then like, I had a bag, like a fat man, there was a gun in the bag, and all my jewelry in the bag. And like when they came, I dropped it, and they seen the bag, and they locked everybody up. But that, all our charges got dropped besides the one who wanted for murder, because they weren't supposed to, for illegal search. They weren't supposed to.
But during this time, Nardo couldn't catch no break. It was like every few weeks he was in the news for something, and it was never good. The internet tried to cancel this nigga at one point, and I'm gonna say it was because he was being ignorant. This nigga came out, he did an interview. He was basically saying the reason he never got a job growing up because why would I work when I could just go robbing and make more money than I would be working a regular job?
Like if you don't want to do You feel me? Gonna do it. Like I was just looking at it like I go rob, get
They try to
like
cancel
this
him
month.
for
Why
this?
would I go to work for a week? You feel me?
How could they cancel him for that?
Yeah, for real. Like if I go do this to somebody and get $7,000, $5,000
In like
for,
20 minutes.
yeah, less than that. Go to work for 2 weeks.
$200 for a
That's
week.
crazy.
2 weeks to make $500.
He signed to RCA.
And I'm talking about internet was having a field day with this man. He was getting so much backlash. The world was looking at him like he was just trying to promote this to the youth. They was feeling like you trying to promote robbing and stealing to these young niggas that's coming up. And the hate he got was so bad. He gave a statement on the situation. Nardo said, I'm not trying to influence nobody to go rob nobody. They asked a question about my past and I answered. That's what I was doing when I was 15, 16. A product of my environment. My mama had just come home from prison and it was a hard time for us. We ain't had nothing. I would never try to tell or convince a young black man or anyone period to crash out. I changed my life, started taking rap serious because I knew I wouldn't make it if I kept doing what I was doing. It ain't nothing wrong with working a job. Robbing ain't cool, and I ain't trying to make it seem cool. I was just speaking on my past. What I was doing was young and dumb, and I changed for the better and learned from my mistakes. And even after all of that, he did a sit-down interview with Act and was just speaking on the topic.
For the people who watching, like, you know, and I seen the interview. And by the way, salute to the guys over a Big Faction. I mean, they'd ask you about, like, you know, like maybe what jobs you had, and you were like, well, you know, I was kind of like robbing people, and people thought a few things. They said, well, it's not like he glorified.
That's crazy.
It, right? Because I think you're like, well, why do that if, you know what I mean, I could get the same shit.
And I'm saying how my mind was 16, 15, you feel me?
Yeah, so, but, and that was your mindset then. You're sleeping on the ground, you don't really know much, you're trying to help your family. Your mother is in a situation where she can't really provide like she used to provide, and you got to deal with all this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, all of that's happening, right? When do you kind of figure out, like, man, this probably ain't gonna be the way?
I ain't never really, like, when I started rapping, like, seriously. Like, cause I made my first song at 17, but even then, it's still, like, little shit. I think even besides doing that, you feel me? Like, when, like, time passed, you get into other type of shit, so you feel me?
Trust.
So other type of shit be going on. So I started rapping. Boom.
How y'all feel about that, though? Do y'all feel like he was just speaking on his past, or was he kind of glorifying him robbing? And even though he said he wasn't promoting robbing to the youth, that man did have an effect on the youth. Back in November 2021, news was breaking that over 50 students got suspended for doing this Nardo Wick TikTok challenge. Complex wrote over 50 students were suspended in Clarksville, Tennessee over the Nardo Wick challenge, where people would act like they was holding the gun to the camera. Far Chicago wrote that multiple times this challenge resulted in suspensions. They wrote the video showed teachers simulating gun violence by holding their phones and mimicking the use of weapons. From what we understand, they were told they were going to be in a video kind of promoting school spirit. They had no clue that they would be made to look like they was holding guns. They had no clue that their phone was going to be used like that. They said the video was heavily edited to make it look a specific way, so completely misled by the student at the school. We was extremely disappointed when we saw the first video. And even though this situation didn't directly have anything to do with Nardo, his name was involved with it. This had something to do with his music. This just drug his name into even more negative press. That wasn't even the end of the situation. It get worse, and people was mad as hell about this one situation. After the students got suspended, the police department ended up coming to the school, and they said something that ain't sit right with a lot of people. Police department said, because if I would have seen you on the streets pointing an object that looked like a gun, I don't got time to sit and think if it's a gun or not. I'm just gonna shoot, and I won't get charged for it. Now look, I get that you trying to stop them kids from doing the challenge, but why would you say this to a group of high schoolers? You definitely could have worded it better if you wanted to, but this had people mad. Someone from the area said this. Mama and I need badge number. Clarksville Police Department on the line. How an officer gonna threaten high schoolers over a TikTok? My sister ain't no threat to society. Neither is none of them other kids. Now I know the secret agenda officers have here in Clarksville. And I don't like what that officer said. I mean, be honest, nigga. You can tell if somebody holding the phone or not off a glance. I'm not finna really dig into this topic. This is not the right video for that. But on a positive note, at the end of 2021, Nardo did do something big. He dropped his debut album. People enjoyed it. It sold about 30K, did decent for a first project and had some big songs on it. Project was looking good for bro. Then 2022, he came out, dropped the deluxe, basically a whole nother album with 13 more songs. And this also did good. But this is where his musical story slowed down. Yeah, he might have all these big songs, all these big features, but this album will be the last full body of work we got from him. Nigga, we's in 2024 now. We ain't got a Nardo Wick tape since 2022. So to really put it into perspective so you can understand, this man barely had a career for real. He only got one album out, not including a deluxe.
What this nigga said? If I get 100 subs, can you guarantee Younger Age to follow me back on Instagram or repost the beat I made on my page for a promo type thing? Your title says 100 get the subs. This stream I'd be the one to do that in Twitch chat, but I want to share if Ace does this too. Hey man, if you want me, I'll repost your shit. Feel me? Just give the 100. I'll repost your shit on my brother. I'll repost your shit. Shit, he gonna see it. That's on him to follow you back type shit. But I get it out there for him to see. Feel me? If you want to get them 100, oh yeah, if you get the 100, I'll repost your shit. He gonna see that bit on my brother. Just tag me in that bit, bro. Feel me? We can do that on my brother.
That didn't even sell 30,000 copies first week. So for you without a stable career to up and disappear is crazy. And I know how I spoke on how I don't like the whole mysterious act on the previous vid, but Cardi, for example, him not dropping music for 4 years is only working for him because he built the fan base. He built the foundation and built this cult-like fan base around him. So him stepping away from music is a big deal, but it's not gonna affect themselves. I promise you, Cardi come out and drop a project today, he's selling over 120,000 copies first week. But something telling me Nardo Wick finna fall into the same trap Polo G did. And I gotta give a little backstory on this. If you don't know, this man Polo G dropped the album in 2021. It did great. Had the deluxe doing good. Everything was looking so good for Polo. It was looking like this man had the perfect career. Like maybe he was the next rap superstar. Until he wasn't. After this album, he wouldn't announce his next project until 2 years later in 2023. He had a whole press run for this album, announced the date, track list, all that. But some legal problems came up and he delayed the album. And you might be thinking, oh, it's just a little delay. No, he ain't delayed a month or two. He delayed this album an entire year. The man announced the album in August 2023. He turns around and delayed it until August 2024. So he went 3 full years with no album. I can't even imagine how his fans was feeling. But about a week ago, he comes out, dropped this long-awaited album, and it sold 24,000 first week. And you gotta remember what I said. This a man that had the potential to be rap's next superstar. If you go take a look at his last 2 albums, it's bad. His 2020 album sold 97,000 copies first week, and his 2021 album sold 146,000 copies first week. And not even that. Damn. This album had a #1 hit song on there. And I know sales ain't everything, but they normally speak on how interested people are in his artist. And for Nardo Wick to pull this where he don't drop music for years, something telling me his next project is about to do horrible. Unless this man come out with a big hit song, this project he about to drop is not gonna do too well. But I guess time will tell. But this period of Nardo not dropping any projects, any music, don't mean he wasn't on news. 70K? One of the biggest stories in hip hop last year had something to do with Nardo Wick. And in reality, this could have ruined his career, maybe even his life. So back late last year, about November, Nardo Wick was out and a fan happened to see him, and the fan just wanted a picture. So he walked up to Nardo, he like, hey, can I get a pic? And before Nardo could even respond, one of his quote-unquote security guards just stole off on dude. He get hit, he knock out, hit the wall, then the other security guard come and start punching on him while he already knocked out. And boy, when I say the internet was on fire, I'm not over-exaggerating. Every single person you could have thought of was mad at Nardo Wick. Even though in the video you do see him kind of try to help buddy, while he was knocked out, at the end of the day, them was his people that hurt this dude who ain't do nothing wrong but just want to pick. And after it went down, he got sent straight to the hospital and it was bad. Kid who got knocked out, relatives was online just speaking on the situation. His mama got on Facebook and said, I want everybody to see what they did to my son. At no point was my son aggressive. Ain't no point did he show any sign of harm. My son just wanted a picture with his favorite artist, and that's what he got. I'm sick to my stomach to think about how this could have turned out. Please help me share this, please.
Really
As a mother, I'm begging you to
that.
just help me get justice for my son. Anyone who know he the sweetest kid ever.
I remember
no
that
drugs,
video
no alcohol,
vividly.
none of that. And look, I get that Nardo a rapper, and people might be out to get him, but you cannot be doing that. If y'all was that afraid of somebody just
that's not Nardo Wick fault.
Picture,
What the fuck?
You gotta move different. You gotta move so that people cannot openly walk up to you and
guard
find out
fault.
where you at. Cause this was crazy, and the internet was justifiably snapping on him. The dude who got knocked out relatives was even doing interviews speaking on how this situation affected him.
You were there that night, Sunday night, after the show. Had you both been inside? Did you go?
So we actually both were VIP. We both had VIP tickets to go into the show. And if you see me with the V shirt on right there,
okay.
And I was just a few feet behind him when this happened. They were exiting the club, and we were walking. You could see I was walking towards Nardo too. We weren't. It's not like we were running or anything. George was just walking towards Nardo with his phone up, and the guys that were around him, they didn't hit him at first. They just kind of looked at him, and he was like, "Hey, can I get a picture?" And then out of nowhere, the guy hit him from the side, and just knocked him out. And then the other guy, continuously hit him while he was knocked out.
You know, the thing is, I don't think these was actually security guards. I'm pretty sure these was just some of his homeboys that he had around as quote unquote security guards. Cause I feel like if there was actual security, they wouldn't have did that man like that. But past all that, what did Nardo have to say? I mean, this is a situation he was in. He said, "I don't condone what happened to my fan George after my show in any type of way. I expressed to him and his mama how sorry and concerned I was that it happened to him multiple times before there was ever anything on the internet. I sent his mama my number that night it happened. I was even gonna make a post about it to try to find out who he was before his mama could text me. I can't control another grown man action. I ain't even know that was gonna happen. And I was mad when it happened. I tried to stop it in the video, as you can see, and if somebody got the longer video, you can see how mad I was. I love and appreciate all my fans and don't condone what happened. That ain't gangster. It ain't cool in no type of way." And just a few days after all that went down, Nardo security guards turned themselves in. One of them was a man named Zachary, and the other was a 15-year-old boy, and both of them got charged with felony battery. But not only did that 15-year-old got charged with that, he got charged with being a minor in possession of a firearm while wearing a mask. And what's crazy is this situation ain't turned out good for Zachary. Just a couple months ago, his court date came up after he got bond, and he skipped it. So they forfeited his bond. And as for Nardo Wick, he ain't really been in the news since then. He done dropped some songs, did some features, but that's it for him musically wise. But just because Nardo was out the way, don't mean his family members was. Nardo brother Hayward Biggins got into something deep back in March 2024.
Yeah, 29-year-old Hayward Biggins has been identified as the man caught on camera shooting into a home while there were people inside. Now, he is facing 2 felony charges, one for burglary and one for shooting inside an occupied dwelling. And this was all caught on camera.
And all that was on camera. I can't show it, but I can describe it. He walks up to the door. He tries to open it, sees it's locked. He turns around, kick the door, still nothing. And for whatever reason, he pulled his gun out and just shoot at the door. And they said after it happened, he was found lying in the road near a garbage can. Reports said he appeared to be disoriented and under the influence of an unknown substance. And when they tried to arrest bro, it ain't go smooth. He was kicking, throwing himself around. Bro was tripping bad. And what's even stranger and makes the situation worse is that he moved into that next door house one day before. So you really gotta understand the situation and what he did to these people. These people have been staying at this house for months, never had no problem. They loved the house, they was proud of what they got. And this nigga comes out of nowhere and just shoots into their house. It traumatized them so bad, they couldn't even stay in their house no more. After the situation, they stayed in hotels for weeks. But 12 did some digging in the Nardo brother, and they found out that back in his past, he was on Addies and perk and even had bad withdrawals at one point. But not only that, they said that he also might be bipolar, but ain't have no prescribed medication for it. And I did look for some info about the case, but I don't know if anything has went down in the courts about it yet, because this was recent. This was just a couple months ago. I don't know, bro. This is a crazy situation, and I hope that them people okay. But what about Nardo in his career? Like I said at the very start of the vid, it's been a petition image going around of people begging Nardo Wick to drop more music. Because like y'all learned, he has been going for a while now. How will it do? I don't know, if I'm being honest. Unless he come out with a hit song, he gonna end up in the same boat as Polo G, but worse. Cause crazy features not gonna save your project. That Polo G album I spoke on earlier had a Future feature, Lil Durk, Glorilla, one of the hottest female artists out right now. She got a big song every other week, if you're being honest, and that didn't even save him. So what do y'all think is gonna happen to Nardo Wick? But maybe, I could be wrong. This nigga got a hit in the vault. As soon as that album get ready to come out, he dropped the hit. Whole world paying attention to him again. Guess we gotta find out. I hope Nardo just stay out the way and drop good music, unlike what's happening with Kanye West. This man just dropped the worst album of his career the other week, and it's a dark reason behind it. Ye been
Kanye
facing
West
real bad addiction.
I didn't even know he
if
dropped.
you really want to know what's causing him to go down this dark path, click on the vid on screen.
What the hell? I didn't even know that nigga Kanye dropped. Oh, my brother. What the fuck? We talked before the DM. I forgot about that. I sent you a DM on IG just to describe how I came up and shit. I kind of talk to you a lot. I kind of talk a lot, if you could tell. I'm gonna let you know that. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, though, for real. Music never went to Ace dropped on the album. He's an unmarried rapper. He must respect recognition for the shit he made. Oh yeah, facts. Appreciate it, twin.